There are going to be moments and monuments that you mark in this hour. We have been in the desert and God has been doing so many amazing things. We've actually had to stop and mark the moments. I feel like saying, mark my words. So I'm going to say, mark my words. This is going to be an hour. This is going to be a season. And actually, I want to stop saying season. My son told me the other day, Mom, we were in this holy moment. Our team was there. The Spirit fell. Like, God was so tangible in the atmosphere. Minister Carter got a word. I got a word. There was healing in my family. Brandex Cruz, who's with us, our whole team got a word from God. And so we were like, ooh, in this season. And my son said, Mom, this is not a season. This is a new way of life. And so we are in a new way of life where you will be marking moments. There are so many defining moments and they're accelerating. They're coming day by day, hour by hour. And you know what a defining moment is? It's a moment where a decision is made. It's a moment where a decision is made. You know, one of my spiritual mentors and peers, Apostle Kai Panetta, she says that the two things that the enemy comes for is our identity and our ability to make decisions. Our identity and our ability to make decisions. But in this hour, even now, God is saying there are defining moments where we will truly see ourselves as the sons and daughters, as the priests and kings that we are. We will understand our authority in this earth. We will understand the dominion that we walk in. We will not walk into a room with our heads hanging low, apologizing for our existence. So even now, it's a defining moment where we agree with God's view of us, God's opinion of us. And in this moment, we decide to agree with the revelation of God's light and love in our lives. Even in this defining moment, we are making decisions to turn our back on the chains, to turn our back on the trauma, to stop making a trophy out of our trauma, but to give it over to God, who can turn that suffering into new realms of salvation and supernatural success, to give that pain over to God so that He can use it to purify anything in us that would be tempted to believe that our reward comes from man. Listen, Jehovah, the Most High King of this universe is coming with your reward in His right hand. And every day and every moment, we will have the opportunity to have these defining moments where we have to mark the day. We have to write it down in our calendar. We will have to remember where we were when that word was spoken, because God is moving so quickly by His Spirit. He's saying, where are my sons and daughters? They must arise. They must lay hold of this kingdom. They must lay hold of this territory, because my reward is in my right hand. And this is a defining moment. This is a season that goes beyond a season. It's a season that goes into a way of life. This is a lifestyle of the believers to walk in this divine covenant with God. Where we step, we are activating destiny. We are activating dominion. We are activating God's rule and reign on this earth. Amen. In this hour. And so I just want to encourage you to be on the lookout for defining moments that shift your identity. They shift your identity. And for defining moments that empower you to make decisions to choose different, to say never again, to say I won't go back, to say, you know what, that's a familiar spirit. I denounce it and I keep it moving. To say, you know what, I want my destiny. I want everything God has for me. I'm tired of playing broke and poor and suffering and martyrdom. I want to rise in the courage and the wholeness that it takes to step out what God has called me to step out in this hour. Amen. So look for not a season of defining moments, but look for a lifestyle where there will be decisions that you make that turn your destiny in the way that it's supposed to go, that open you up to let more of God's goodness in. And that's a decision, right? We have to decide how much of God's goodness will we really let in. How much of God's goodness can we let in? And until we're healed, we don't have the room or capacity to let in more of the goodness. I remember a dear friend saying to me when I desired a relationship in my life, she said, how much joy can you let in? How much goodness can you let in? And I really couldn't, because I was still hurting from another relationship, right? So when we decide that our identity is wholeness, when we decide that our portion is healing, when we decide that we are covenant daughters and sons of God, then we are making room through that healing decision to let more goodness in. So in this hour, there will be so much goodness flooding your life. We've been seeing rivers in the desert. We are seeing rivers in the desert because God is like, you are the miracle. You are the river in the desert. There are rivers of living water flowing from your belly, flowing from those times where you thought you were going to be counted out. But God was saying, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that for my glory and for the kingdom. And so even now, this is a defining moment. Will you decide to agree with God's identity of you? Will you decide to say, yes, Lord, to the decisions that shape my destiny? Yes, Lord, to the decisions that shape my destiny even now. Amen. I just want to congratulate you because there will be so many defining moments. Your journal is going to be burning up. Your journal is going to be burning up because moment by moment, hour by hour, God is taking his people in an accelerated way from glory to glory, from favor to favor, from increase to increase. This is the lifetime season of defining moments. Amen. God bless you guys.